So here we are with the lit version. I mean, I like it lit this way too, with the lights in the arms unlit, and I still think this is interesting, but yeah, it's cooler when it's all dark and lit up. So one thing that's difficult about my work, and I have found this ever since I started working in leather, is photographing it. And part of the reason is because you'll see all the dark parts, that's a glaze. And in order for me to work in this way, my base layer of paint has to have a lot of acrylic medium in it because the surface needs to be slippery so I can wipe off parts of that glaze and have it settle into all the cracks and make it look all kinds of groovy. And because I put that medium in there, it gets very shiny and it makes it incredibly hard to photograph or video, as you can see. Although part of the problem with this is I do have some dry brush gold paint on there, and that also contributes to the shine. But when this is just hanging out in my house in its natural environment with a little bit of light from the windows or dimly lit at night, this looks fantastic. It's just when I'm photographing it or videoing it, it needs to be a little more brightly lit, and that just adds a little more difficulty. And I found in particular that the red is, and it's probably because I do the highlights, red is just very shiny. But you know what? I needed some red in this. This is my emotional catharsis from the pandemic. And I guess if all I have to complain about is my work is very shiny and hard to photograph, I guess I have a pretty cushy life, huh? But this whole disease ravaging the world has been incredibly terrifying, and those of us who have pre-existing conditions, when you've been really sick in the past, the last thing you want is a plague ravaging your body. So it just adds a level of fear and compounds things. So this is basically my way of dealing with all that. Plus, the separation from people I care about, and I still have a lot of things to be thankful for. I was able to keep my job, and, Zoom exists now, so that's great. And, I've been able to do all the things that I did before. Well, not all the things, most of the things. Obviously, things have changed quite a bit. I wasn't able to transport kids, take them out to do community service and things like that. But, I'm still incredibly lucky for what I have and how things went. I'm still pretty angry that we're not done with this yet. But you don't need me to lecture you about wearing your mask and social distancing, right? Because everybody's doing that, right? We're all doing our parts to try and get past this, and nobody's arguing or complaining, right? Right. And it's not going to be like this forever. And we've had way more losses than we should have, but at some point it's going to get better and we're going to get back to semi-normal. Everyone should have a big old emotional catharsis if you can, especially if you've lost a lot. It's important to make sure you take care of yourself and deal with all those emotions that came with all this terribleness.